Hello folks, Jose here. I'm going to give you a little tour of the Pearson 34 and show you how far we've come on the refit. And show you a few more things that still need to come out, but things are starting to move and we're really happy with the progress. So far, fingers crossed, things are working out, and things like the engine, which we were concerned about, are actually functioning. So we should have the mechanic here today at some point to finish up getting the diesel running, but we already started it and it ran. We're just doing some maintenance to it. So let me start by showing you a little bit about the stern of the boat, the cockpit. So the cockpit on the Pearson 34 is actually 8 foot long. So you have a lot of room, and there's some nice cushions that we sent in to redo. We were gonna initially do them ourselves, but we found somebody that gave us a really good deal, so it was cheaper than buying the materials on the sewing machine. So we decided to, this time, for the sake of time, go forward and have somebody help us with that. The stern of this boat, they have made this jerry-rigged system to hoist the dinghy. Basically they use aluminum tubing to make some davits and strap them to the back rail, and that is coming out, of course. For a cruising boat, I really don't want to have davits, especially the size where if we take a wave on the stern, it could cause some damage and create a problem. So we're getting rid of that. The prior owner attached a couple of short platforms which look pretty sturdy, at least from trying to move them with a hand. They're pretty solid in there. I have to yet put my weight on it to test drive them, but that's for another day. I'm not ready to go swimming just yet. We have here our wheel and our controls, Richie compass, the table cleaned up relatively nicely. One thing I'm not crazy about is but I guess if you're doing passengers, it's a good thing, is that's the fuel intake. So you can fuel the boat. So if you're out there and you have jugs and you have to put them in, this is a good setup to not have to be hanging off the side of the boat trying to mess with a 5-gallon jug of fuel of diesel. But it's kind of on a spot that if you spill, you're gonna make one hell of a mess. But yesterday my wife and I were celebrating our anniversary, so we kind of jerry-rigged the top here with a blue tarp just to give us some shade, so we can do our 2nd year anniversary. So as you can see, the cabin top and the deck, the sides came out really good. That was with a little bit of detergent and power washing. So we're pretty happy with that. There's still a little bit more cleaning to do. A lot of these lines, as you can see, they're pretty crispy. So they're pretty shaved, so we're gonna have to get rid of them and replace them. But as we go down the cabin, we took all the cushions out, so everything is in the process of getting clean. I'm gonna go up to the bow and start from there. So this is gonna be our cabin, our V berth. It's about 6 foot 1 inch in here, so I can stand up completely straight and not hit my head. It has a nice Bomar hatch. We're just gonna have all this plexiglass replaced so we can get clear view, and we found some guy that can also help us with these. These are portholes. They have screens, so we can open those for fresh air. We have a fan and all the lights inside the boat. We're going to switch to LED, but we still have to replace them. Forward, we have our anchor locker. A little dark there. There's some work I need to do underneath there. We have a leak from a compartment up on top on a locker where you keep the hose for the freshwater wash down. This boat came with an air conditioner. This is a 12,000 BTU Mermaid Air self-contained unit, which the unit seems to be in good shape. I think the problem is on how they did the electric, and the plumbing is all wrong. So I'm going to fix that first and see if we can get this bad boy coming back to life. I'll probably do a better job with that electric junction box. And a couple of things they did here, which is a big no-no, is they were using, electric outlets to hook up power to the unit, which they should have just run the electricity all the way back to the panel and do a proper connection for the pump and the AC. On this side, we have storage. Whoops. So there's a big locker in here. I'm going to paint all of that once I fix the through holes so we can make it functional, and it'll be nice to have storage inside that. We have room up along the cockpit high side for storage. There's a shelf for books. Over here we have a stack of drawers and a hanging locker behind the door. But they ate up some of the space with the ductwork for the AC, so we'll just have to live with that for now, and we'll figure out how we're going to manage regaining some of that space later. As we move back to the cabin, here we have our head, which is enclosed. It was one of the requirements for us. You have also 6 foot height on the ceiling here at the head, which is great. I can stand up. It's very roomy, so you're not kind of wedged on the head when you're trying to use it. I'm not crazy about this red countertop. But right now it's there and it's functional. We can get it clean and working. And this thing has a railing up here to put the shower curtain. So this metal aluminum thing you see here is for shower curtain. So we'll get that done. But we have a pretty cloudy day, and there's still plenty of light inside the boat. The toilet, we're debating whether to use it as is for now or switch it to a macerator pump, but we'll deal with that later. Right now, if it's working, we're going to keep it and work our way through it. Here's our mast. We have a isomat mast. It's a keel step, and it sits on this box down below. And in checking that, looks solid. I didn't see a lot of corrosion in there, so I think we're in great shape. In here we have our dining room table, which is foldable. We have another Bomber hatch right here. We have deadlights. I have somebody that was recommended to me to change all the plexiglass. Another friend had him do the work. He only charged him like $200 to do the whole boat, and we're gonna see what he charges to do this. That way we can get some light. At least it's a lot lighter now that we cleaned them, so there's actually sunlight coming in. Over here we have our nav station, and of course it's full of stuff that we have to clear out. Things that we found on the boat, things we have to get rid of. Over here we have our battery bank. Right now it's only 200 amp hour batteries. These are 4 years old, but we managed to get the charge back to them, and they work fine. We're using a Victron charger for it, connected through a surge protector into shore power. I haven't used a shore power on the boat because I want to make sure it's wired properly before we take a chance on plugging anything else. But this Victron charger is great. It's an IP65 waterproof charger. It's phenomenal. It has an app that you use on your phone to check the charging status. inexpensive way to get your batteries working. Over here, you have our quarter berth, and if you see the giant hole on the back, that's where the air conditioner came out of. So they had a household air conditioner mounted in here, and I had to take that, which opened a huge amount of space for storage behind. So I'm going to redesign this bulkhead with some kind of sliding shelf or bench or something where we can get in there, especially me, get back there to do work. But now we have access to both sides of the steering system, and we also have access to the wiring and some other components in the fuel tank. So now we have access to both sides of the system. Here we have our trusty Yanmar. So this is a 3GM30D, which is a 22 horsepower Yanmar diesel. The first thing that we needed to do to see if it even would come to life was to replace the water pump, which we did. And we charged the batteries, and this baby started right off the first try. So that was very exciting to see. We checked the water flow, the injectors are good, they're burning clean. So a lot of what you see is just surface dirt and rust, which can be clean. It seems that the inner workings of the engine are in good shape. So as much as I would love to go electric, we don't have the money to do that right now. So we're going to go diesel for a little while longer. So right now we're waiting for the exhaust elbow, which goes right here and connects to that hole down there. And typically that should be replaced every 5 to 6 years, or taken out and cleaned out if it's in good shape, because they're not designed to last forever. The engine will run forever, but those things will not. As you see here, I started taking the panels out so I can check that things are working the way they should. I know the battery, the AC panel, the DC panel works. We were able to turn some of the lights on from the batteries, so that just needs a little bit more attention. Our biggest redesign area is going to be this right here, which is our galley. We have storage and access to the plumbing through here, so we need to take all that out, clean it out. We have a stainless steel sink with water, and of course they have a soap dispenser. The storage for dishes and all that will clean up nicely and will work. And the sliders, luckily for all the lockers, are intact and working. They slide, pretty unrestricted. The stove is a propane stove. Tank is outside. It's a galley made. I believe, from what I'm hearing, it's a good brand. And we can still find parts for it. So I'm going to, at some point, take it out of that hole and rehab it. This is the sad part. The prior owner basically, hacked the ice box, and he had stuck in here a household refrigerator. So I'm going to have to basically take all of this back here out, clean it up, cut it, and then redesign storage and a system for putting a refrigerator back in the boat. More than likely, we'll put a 12-volt Dometic fridge in here with a slider, so we can pull it out, use it, and then slide it back. I just have to make sure that it's going to fit. That piping you see right there, going to that block and coming underneath, is for the centerboard. So the centerboard is controlled by a pulley system that has wire inside that piping, and it comes out to right there. You see it? See that bunch of line coil? That's where the centerboard comes out. So this looks a lot better than before. So we're pretty excited about it. So that's a quickie tour of the inside of our Pearson 34. As you can see, I have plenty of headroom here, so it's very nice and comfortable. This foot is over 11-foot beam, so it's very wide, and when you don't have the table down, you have a lot of room to move around the boat. And once we get rid of all the clutter, it should. Hey gangs, sorry about that, ran out of battery. What I was saying is that once we get done with the cleaning and the refitting, it's going to be a very comfortable boat to go cruising and have a great time. So with that, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.